How's it going, guys? Chris Hart here, SoldOutServant. Today's discussion will be capitalism versus socialism. You decide what's best for you.
Sold out servants, and you know we've been working. We serving, we earning. The watches is hurting. Serve to earn, baby. What you know about leadership? Start small, build up. Takes a team to win a championship. Big heart, but it started with Chris. Seen a lot when it comes to this biz. Don't serve, don't earn. They gotta shift keys to be a capitalist. Sold out servants.
Today's topic has been an ongoing debate for quite some time in our country. You got capitalists on one side, and one side socialists saying, hey, our system is better. Today you decide which one's best for you and which one's best for our government. And so, guys, we're looking at different categories here, right? Different elements of our country's government system and how capitalism compares to it and socialism on one side. We'll look at each one side-by-side comparison here and say, okay, cool, which one's best for us at the very end? And so looking at capitalism here, guys, we're looking at ownership. The ability to own what you have, right? Ownership, right? We all want to own something, want to build our wealth. So let's compare that with capitalism. Assets are owned by private firms. So when it comes to government, when it comes to businesses, right? You have the ability to go incorporate a C Corp, LLC, S Corp, whatever you want to do. You own what you have. The businesses are owned by individuals, right? On one side, we got socialism here. Assets are owned by government and cooperatives. So the government owns the business. Right? Maybe it's a food processing plant owned by the government. Maybe it's a group home that's being serviced by a private owner, cooperative, but it's being funded by the government because they're doing government work for them. Which one's best for our country at some time? I think there's a case where you definitely want assets owned by private companies that have an incentive. Guys, I worked for a group home before. It was a group home that did good for our community, social services, but guess what? It was owned by a private owner, but the government funded the entire process. So we'll see how, as we go through these different elements here, how does that play out? Next, we got equality. Income determined by market forces. Guys, obviously I'm an entrepreneur, right? I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I'm somebody my income is based off the market and what I do. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. The market says what I'm worth, guys. And I believe 100% that my value that I add to others is a direct reflection on my income. As I give more value, as I increase the value of who Chris Hart is as a man, my income increases. That's my belief system. On one hand, you have this redistribution of income. Okay, I'm not as good as Chris Hart. I don't have the same skills that he has. So Chris Hart, how about we take some of your income and give it to me? Some people agree with that concept. Whether you're wrong or right, that's your belief system. Next, you got prices here. So prices, when it comes to business and the government, prices are determined by supply and demand. If the Apple iPhone is popular and people will wait in line to get it, it's going to cost more money. If a BMW has a higher demand on it, it'll cost more than a Honda Civic. There is no one set price for all the cars in that assembly line. Well, in this system here, prices are controlled. So the government says, hey, all Honda Accords are going to be $15,000. Every sedan that's blue will cost this amount of money. Government control. Now you have efficiency here. Market incentives encourage firms to cut costs. If you run a taco stand or a burger stand, right, or maybe a lemonade stand in your community, right, you got to improve your systems in order to add more clients. If you make lemonade and it has no sugar in it, right, it's just lemonade, lemons, and water. Right? Stay here for a second. Lemons and water. The guy next door has lemons, water, and sugar. Hot, sunny day, right? He's selling bitter lemons and water. This guy's selling sweet home lemonade. Who's going to have more customers later on that day? The guy with the sweet lemonade, right? Why? He has the efficiency to incentive to encourage things, right? So he wants to do certain things in order to get more business gain, right? This guy over here, government-owned firms have fewer incentives to be efficient. The government says, I own this corner. I can sell whatever I want to sell. I'm selling lemons and water. What do? That's all that's available, right? It's government-owned. The guy has no incentive to get better. He owns that block. It was given to him by the government. You're seeing here the comparisons here, right? Very simple example, but it makes clear sense. Taxes. Taxes are a big subject, guys. I did a video on taxes in our country and how taxes actually work in America. So taxes, limited government spending. Capitalists say, hey man, we're going to pay taxes, right? But let's limit the taxes. Let's limit government spending. We believe in free markets. It'll take care of itself. On one hand, you have socialism says this, higher progressive taxes, which means that taxes go up as your income goes up, progressive tax rates, higher spending on public services. Hey, we need to tax people more money and get more money from higher income earners and spend more money on government entities. That's what this believes here. Where does America lie here? Isn't it crazy how you can't kind of tell if we're a capitalist country or a socialist country, because you're seeing both sides being demonstrated every day in our society. Then we have healthcare, right? Healthcare left for free market. Hey, it's free market, man. We're going to trust that, Aetna and United Healthcare, these companies are going to be profitable, of course, but compete for clients, compete for contract, compete for money and for business. We trust the system. The other one says here, healthcare should be provided by the government free at point of use. It was a big topic about Obamacare years ago, offering free healthcare for everyone in America. If you were a pro-Obamacare, you lean more towards socialism. You're like, hey, I want to have my prices set. I'm 22 years old. I'm young and healthy. I want low rates. You lean more towards this way. If you're saying, well, hey, I'm a little older. Prices are higher for me. I'm more at risk. I think we should balance out the risk for everyone. Has everyone pay higher rates? Everyone gets coverage. Which one's better? You decide for you. Next one here is problems, right? So what problems lie when it comes on this side for capitalism, right? It can't be a perfect system. So what problems could you come across being a capitalist system? Well, one, inequality. Obviously, in our system, there are people who make a lot of money at the top. At the bottom, they make no money. So there's an incentive already there for the people who already have money, who know how money works. They can create systems in the private sector where they continue to make money and can make it harder for others to move up in the ranks. You have also here market failure. Well, we all experienced that, right? Back in 2007, 2008, the big short, what took place in our country, right? The housing market bubble burst. As we lifted the hood up, we saw so many things happen in Wall Street that were not right? And also monopolies. We have a monopoly here. We have a monopoly where one company gets so big, they just take over what's happening in our country and they take over an entire system or entire industry. That you don't want to happen, right? So on this end here, what do you have here? Inefficiency of state industry, less incentives. Once again, who's ever been to the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, before? All right, got it. Now, when you get bad customer service at the Department of Motor Vehicles, who do you complain to? Is there a manager? Is there a boss? Can someone get fired? No, there is no boss, all right? I'm sure there's a director of the Department of Motor Vehicles, but guess what? There's no incentive to give you good service. They're going to be there. They're not going anywhere. There's no competition for the DMV. So guess what? The DMV gives you what you get. No incentive. Inefficiencies. Hey, we're out at 4:30. At 5 p.m., they are done. There is no overtime, no staying late, because there's no incentive there, right? And so imagine if the DMV had a competitor. They had better customer service. You go in there, they had better chairs, man. People actually smiled at you. Faster service. You could pay for an upgrade on certain things. Imagine that competition. Would you pay a little more for better service, for more efficient service? Of course you would. So in that case there, if you're that person, you probably lean more towards capitalism. And then we have the advantages here. Dynamic economy. Growth, right? Incentives for innovation and economic growth. Think about the Elon Musk of the world, the Jeff Bezos, the Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak. Without a capitalist system, there's no incentive for them to create. You see the net worth of a Bill Gates, of a Elon Musk, of a Jeff Bezos from Amazon. The incentive is Jeff Bezos made our lives easier with Amazon fulfillment shipment centers, right? And so by doing so, guess what? His value to the world was larger. He makes more money. Without that system, what's the incentive to work so hard in the 90s? He's busting his butt, cashes his mom's 401k out to reinvest back into Amazon in the 90s. Why do that if there's no incentive? This side says, hey, promotion of equality. 100%. Socialists believe in equality, right? And so they want to create a more equal system for everyone to have a level playing field. Also, attempt to overcome market failure. There's times when capitalism maybe isn't working. Maybe there's greed there. Maybe you have crony capitalism. They say, hey, we need to create more systems within a government entity to help control and regulate what's happening here. So regulation is more socialist leaning. Deregulation is more capitalist leaning, guys. So at the end of the day, the question is this: which system is better? Today, I'm not going to tell you which one's better, guys. It's up to you to decide. As a country, you can obviously see America is a little divided. We're a little capitalist on one side, also socialist. Maybe the perfect society is a blend of both. Who knows? But at the end of the day, here's what I will tell you. In America, our values, principles were built on a capitalistic system. We're leaning more towards socialist now. Let me ask you a question. Can you imagine being in America where there is no capitalism anymore? There's no incentive for innovation or for growth. What happens to a country that takes away the incentive to go live the American dream, go make more money, provide for your family, to have actual ownership of what you have? If that goes away, what happens to the fire and desire that created our country, guys? With that being said, guys, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share this content. I'll see you soon.